Hey, I am Dragonfly Jones, aka America is Musty.
I am the Jethro Jenkins, aka John.
I'm Gardy B, and this is the Jenkins and Jonez YouTube channel. We've got fresh YouTube exclusives dropping every week. Like and subscribe so you make sure you get everything in your feed. Welcome to Jenkins and Jonez on the Volume Podcast Network. It is Thursday, March 14th, and we've got a bunch of nonsense to talk to you about. We're going to figure it out as we go. It's no prep Thursday right now. You know what I mean? So we're just
winging this motherfucker.
We're all going to hold hands and dive off the cliff together. For those of you looking for the Love is Blind reunion recap, we are recording that Thursday morning. It will be up later today if you're listening to this on Thursday. So look out for that. We're very excited for the reunion show that we'll be watching later this evening. We're recording on Wednesday. So let's go. Love is Blind. Fired up. All right. As always, hosted by Dragonfly Jones, a.k.a. Tyler.
Hey, everybody, have a gun.
LeJethro Jenkins, a.k.a. John.
What's up, Bubbas?
I'm Gardy B, a.k.a. Mike.
Motherfucking Mike.
And we're produced by, he's back. He's got a tan from Hawaii. He spent time with his family. He didn't propose to his girlfriend, or didn't?
Crazy. Crazy if he didn't. Crazy if he didn't.
Love it crazy if he didn't. Lovely Sally Jackson Saffon.
What's up?
I saw he wasn't wearing headphones, and I thought maybe she was around. That's why I threw that one up.
She has a real job. She's a dentist, so she has to be in the office.
And you still did it.
I'll call up.
Propose to a dentist. You just not the best look. Crazy.
All right. Well, first of all, we do have some breaking news, which is that our very own Tyler has ended one of the longest and most fun employment tenures of any of my friends have ever had. And I was just thinking how funny it is because do you remember when we were in our early 20s? If your friend got like a good job in those first couple years out of college, we used to go celebrate that. We were so happy for them. And now we literally, the whole group chat was just like, congrats, but sorry to hear that, my boy. Like,
Congrats and condolences, man.
It's fucking funny how life changes, bro. It's just now we're like, I guess you gotta, you know?
Yeah. I mean, the fun had to stop sooner or later, right? Like I've been fun employed since November 2022. Like that was, I was affected by a mass layoff. So got a nice little severance package, getting this good old podcast money too on top of that. So, I was never like stressed out or scrambling. Like I need a job. I was good. I was straight. Like I've told y'all, in private conversations, like I'm totally good until the right opportunity comes along. Right. And it was just like, it was just these boxes that had to be checked. Right. Like I said, it had to be a service that, contributed in a positive way to society some way, somehow. Because I told you I had like motherfuckers like Lockheed Martin and Raytheon hit me up and hell the fuck no.
Ain't no fucking way.
Ain't no motherfucking way.
Not Mr. Perrier.
Hell no, not Mr. Perrier. A man of virtue.
You hear me?
Yeah. And I was basically like, I got to work for something that's kind of fulfilling and does a positive service to society, which is, this new job checks that box. Also, I was like, it's got to be diverse. I do not want to work with just, I refuse to be the only black guy in the office ever again, even though, of course I'm working remotely, which is another box that I had to check. But, because there's been plenty of times where, I've just, applied blindly to a position and they've gotten back to me and I've gone to their LinkedIn company profile and checked the employees. And it's nothing but white people. I'm like,
it looked like The Ringer.
Yeah. And I'm like, no, sir,
The Ringer
I'm good on this. Yeah. And I just hit the back like, oh, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to decline. Something else came along. But so basically, right, like had to provide a good service. It has to be remote. Has to be a diverse workforce that I'm going to be working with. This box checks all that. And the last and most importantly, hey, gotta have them racks. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have that money. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna downplay that. Like I want to contribute positively to society and all that, but I need that motherfucking bread too. You feel me?
So a hefty bag.
Yeah. So I finally got a gig that checked all those very fucking reasonable boxes that I had. And like I said, it only took me about 15, 16 months.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. All right. Let's talk about Isiah Thomas going on Draymond Green's podcast. And, Isiah Thomas has got a really good brand as a dude who is not full of shit. You know what I mean? In any circumstance, with any person on the other side of the table, he's going to tell the truth as he sees it. for better or worse. There's not a lot of people like that in the world, and especially successful people. Usually, that personality is not always compatible with being successful in the entertainment or sports world. So, what did y'all think of his comments to Draymond and Draymond's response?
I feel like Draymond has said this before, right? Like I think he said it was with JJ Redick. I remember he said it at like a live taping of a podcast where he was like, after the 2016 finals, we knew that LeBron was coming, that the Cavs, had us figured out in a way that it was not going to be a cakewalk with these dudes, anymore. And Draymond has said that himself. And, Isiah said the same thing, basically, just kind of reiterated that point. But, I think it speaks to a bigger point. And I don't know if the whole, we're done with the 90s shit that these Gen Zers on, if that's going to be on the rundown for today. But I feel like it ties into that. Yeah, I feel like it ties into that because Isiah, it feels like he's picked up the mantle as a truth teller of sorts, as someone who is not going to let mythology erase people, right? Like, he's been, out there on the front lines, like, hey, come on now, let's not forget, motherfucking MJ is 1-3 versus me in the playoffs. Let's always remember that. And good for Isiah, bro. You are a dude who fucking put MJ and Bird and Magic to sleep for your rings. We should not be, sweeping guys like him to the side because, he had MJ's number 2 and we can't talk about that, right? Like that's the dirty secret here. So yeah, like I said, I really enjoy how Isaiah's kind of just picked up that mantle to be like this truth teller of sorts as of late.
I think he was kind of forced into that. You know what I mean? Because he had the beef with MJ and he was like, yo, I deserve this. You know what I mean? So, and it's been a good look for him. And also, like, shouts to Draymond, the way he handled it. It could have easily been like, he basically said, like, in so many words, Kevin Durant, is saved the legacy of the Warriors. That's what it kind of came across as.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that completely. You know what I'm saying? But the way he said it, it sounded like facts. You know what I mean? And for Draymond, knowing their relationship in particular moments, to sit across from that and to respond in the way he did, kudos to him too, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think, Draymond's been really honest about the situation as well, when it would have been easily not to. You know what I'm saying? Especially with their, their interactions at particular moments. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, but Isaiah's always been honest, and it's difficult to be honest the way he has, but I kind of think he was forced into that, and he's leaned all the way in.
Yeah. Jackson, any other insider perspective? That must have been a fun one to produce. It
was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. Isaiah, he was great. He was very, very honest. He also was very much a man in his 60s. He did not want to troubleshoot his Wi-Fi, which is fine. It ended up.
Was it tenable though? Was it tenable? Was it at least? It seemed tenable.
We made it work.
Yeah.
But he was really cool. And he like logged on early. Dre was a little bit late, and he was down to just like hang out, and he was cracking jokes. He's a really cool guy, and he was
For sure.
definitely not afraid to talk about anything. I was kind of shocked at a lot of. And Dre after the pod was like, even outside of like some of the stuff, the clickier stuff that made the news, Dre was like, he was dropping some bombs that I knew nothing about. Like he was a lot of times, I think when people like try to like old heads try to be like, here's a lesson for you, young fella. Draymond's like, bro, I'm smart. I'm like one of the smartest players in the NBA. Like I know what you're talking about. But afterwards he was like, I didn't know half the shit he was telling me. So I think Dre was and Dre's like, with the Detroit connection, he very much loves Isaiah. So it was a very fun pod for sure.
That's dope. So he was a person probably to be able to deliver that.
Yes,
Being that it was a Detroit connection for sure.
They have a pretty good relationship, I think, and I think there's a lot of respect with Zeke's sort of obviously NBA career as well as their personal sort of relationship. So it was a good fit in that sense for sure.
One thing I'll say about the 90s is that I think like at least the players that I've been, connected with or interviewed, they've been way more open about shit. You know what I'm saying? They're not as, these people are like, this generation is much more buttoned up and, professional. I feel like they're, there's a lot more money involved for sure. And I think just like they've been trained at earlier ages. The AAU circuit, they're getting like, media training. But like the 90s dudes are like, I'm already stamped. I got my motherfucking bread. This is how I feel. And, maybe they, these kids got a point when they're like, I'm done with the 90s shit. Some of that shit was, mythology.
Let's talk.
The reality of it was not as nice.
Let's talk about it. Which one of y'all wants to explain the done with the 90s thing?
Tyler, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, it's basically Basically, people have been pulling up film of 90s games. Most of them have been focused on MJ. It has been like the Braun Army doing this. And, just kind of,
It has. I've seen people that are popping that aren't just the Bron Army though.
mm-hmm.
You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? It's been like a lot of like young people, like Steph Curry fans and all of that too. Like, but go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah. It's look, 90s basketball was brutal at times. Like, we were, you would see playoff games where the final score is fucking 88-84, right? Like, it was brutal basketball at times. And, I think that this is kind of like just a hilarious overcorrection to like a legit grievance and a legit consistency in some of these like GOAT debates. And I feel like that inconsistency, like, to take MJ and LeBron, for instance, is that, whenever there's the discussion of MJ versus LeBron, it's always framed like we're weighing the best of MJ versus the worst of LeBron, right? And what I mean by that is in these discussions, MJ's career always gets condensed down to just his 6 championship seasons. While with LeBron, we're talking about his whole body of work. We're talking about, all 21 years and how he's got 17 seasons where he didn't win a championship. And we hold that against him in a way that we do not do the same thing for Michael Jordan. So I feel like this is like an overcorrection there where it's like, no, let's take in the whole body of everything. And, I won't argue with anyone who has MJ as a GOAT, right? Like MJ was my GOAT for 20 plus fucking years until in my eyes, LeBron surpassed him. But all I ask is that when we have these debates, let's use the same parameters for everybody, right? So if we're only evaluating MJ on his championship years, if we're only evaluating MJ from 91 to 98 when he won his first and his sixth, then let's use those same parameters with Bron. Let's only discuss Bron from 2012 to 2020. But that's not how these conversations go, right? We afford Michael Jordan way more benefits in these discussions than we do any other guy in the GOAT conversation. Like, for instance, we all know that MJ's six rings are heavier than Bill Russell's 11, right? Because MJ played in a more competitive era. But we do not give LeBron that same nuance, that same benefit, right? LeBron has played in a way tougher era, and we do not give him the same nuance that we give, MJ in regards to why MJ is better than Bill Russell. And not only that, we pretty much just flat out erase MJ's shortcomings, right? And on the other side of that, people will turn LeBron's achievements into shortcomings, right? Like, it's rarely mentioned how MJ never won a single playoff game without Scottie Pippen. Not a playoff series, a single playoff game. That man was 0-9 all time in the playoffs before Scottie came along. And, three first round sweeps back when those series were first of fives. But then it gets held against Bron that he went to 11 finals, right? And it's just like what I'm saying. Right. I appreciate, like I said, I do think that they're wilding a little bit, but I feel like sometimes you got to combat foolishness with foolishness. Like I said, it feels like a hilarious overcorrection to some shit that I think we do need to legitimately address.
I think,
and that's a t-shirt.
Volume
people, that's a t-shirt. Combat foolishness with foolishness. That might be Jenkins and Jonez motto right there. Sorry, John.
No, it's good. That's good. It's good. And you're right. It is a t-shirt. That needs to be pointed out. Let's get some bread. You feel me? Added them racks Tyler just came up on. You know what I'm saying? You feel me?
Some more shmoney on top of the shmoney.
You feel me? But I do feel like we need to highlight that Jordan is Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like, my nigga. We can't, yes, the 90s basketball was brutal, but Jordan, regardless of what fucking era, there could have been a league above this league, and he would have been a fucking dog in that motherfucker. Charles Barkley. Fucking, Elijah Wan. These guys, like, bro, those were really ones. You feel me? So, like, there is a little bit of overcorrection, but I do love that you're like, hey, man, like, it wasn't what we thought. Like, a lot of these dudes grew up based off what other people were saying. They were seeing the YouTube highlights and we're actually watching the games like we watch the games. We saw that shit. You know what I'm saying? And we, most people that, are reasonable can look at basketball now and say this is a much higher level of basketball. It's more competitive. And so I love that they're seeing that, but I don't want, like, Jordan is Jordan, bro. Like, we can't minimize what he fucking did in the game. He would be a dog. I mean, he'd be just competitive now or in 10 years from now, I believe. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where I'm at with it. But I think it's funny as hell. I love the recaps. It is just cool seeing, like, the genuine shock on these kids' faces when they're like, this is what I was arguing on Twitter for? That LeBron couldn't, like, KD didn't have the ability to compete. LeBron couldn't compete with this fucking white guy in goggles that's fucking 6'6" playing the center. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I do love that. I do love that.
Yeah. And like I said, it feels like an overcorrection that was needed a bit because as someone who's been in the trenches, arguing how LeBron is the GOAT, it was always odd to me when I would see a little 23-year-old pop up and say, no, it's Michael Jordan. And if you have, the deeper the discussion I would have with someone in that age group, you get down to the fact that they just hate LeBron. That's why they're siding with Jordan here, right? And I'm not going to say that there aren't youngins out here who have, grinded the film, watched the YouTube clips, watched full games of MJ. And if you've come to the conclusion there after doing the homework that MJ is the best basketball player of all time, and it's not rooted in your hate and disdain for MJ, for LeBron, then hats off to you. That's some student in the game shit. I commend that. But so many times it was just so weird to me to see youngins siding with someone who wasn't from their generation to shit on the best player they've seen in their generation. Like we didn't do that. Like when MJ was, no one our age was bringing up Kareem and GOAT conversations because they didn't like MJ. You know what I'm saying? That was just not how shit moved. That was something that was weird to me. And now I'm like, okay, finally the kids are being kids again. They're shitting on eras before them. That's what young people are supposed to do, right? So yeah, it's that angle there too.
That's how big Michael Jordan was. He disrupted the gravity force of young people thinking that all old shit is lame. Like there's not many people. I mean, kids don't respect Michael Jackson. They don't respect they don't respect any of their elders except for Michael Jordan until now. And God bless him, because it's time, bro. You should never have a 23-year-old arguing with someone in their late 30s that what the person in their late 30s saw was better than what the person in their early, that's not the natural order of things. You know what I mean? We're evolving backwards when we do that.
Yeah. I think the thing is too, like these kids are wearing Jordans, arguing for Jordan. So like, you know what I mean? Like we weren't wearing old people's shoes. We weren't in love with the culture as well. Like
you had the Kareem high flyers on.
Yeah, what Converse weapons? I mean, they had a moment, but like we weren't really wearing them like that.
MJ's not fit to hold his goggles, You know
what I'm saying? We wasn't tripping off that. You feel me? But I do love the fact that they're looking past, the defensive player of the year and the 6 rings he won. You know what I'm saying? And seeing the actual games. Because when we would argue with these people, that's all they say. 6 championships is better than so-and-so. Like, nigga, we were there watching the basketball games, bro. Right. We saw it. I do love they're looking past that.
You should have seen me dissect people when they try to say Jim Brown was a better running back than Barry Sanders when I was 15 years old. I mean, it was a dissection, bro. You know what I mean? Jim Brown couldn't even. Jim Brown tried to change directions, his knee would explode. You know what I'm just like.
The thrill and excitement of March Mania is here, and DraftKings Sportsbook, one of America's top-rated sportsbook apps, is giving new customers a shot to turn $5 into $150 instantly in bonus bets with any college basketball bet.
The NCAA tournament is one of my favorite parts of the sports calendar, so I cannot wait to spend 4 straight days watching college basketball. UConn is one of the favorites right now on DraftKings, and I'm really interested to see if they can repeat as champion.
Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code Jenkins. New customers can bet $5 to get $150 instantly in bonus bets only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code Jenkins, Jenkins. The crown is yours. All right, speaking of NFL running backs, we had a little Love is Blind audition from Tiki Barber. Giants running back Saquon Barkley has signed with the Eagles. And did you guys see Tiki Barber's quote about Saquon signing with the Eagles?
No, I didn't.
You're dead to us. You're dead to us, Saquon. Good luck. You're dead to me.
We pulled a Chelsea.
Hey, people gotta have more situational awareness. Tiki Barber is not one to whack his finger at anyone for perceived disloyalty, like the angle he was shooting for there, because we know about you, bro. Like you divorced your pregnant wife to marry because you were cheating on her with the intern at the TV station you worked with, dude. So like no one wants to hear that shit from him. And I was hoping Saquon would have took it there, but he basically just, you told him fuck you in so many words. So, he clapped back on his own terms, but
what's
that button
weird
was
about
right there though.
Is that a nigga that would do that would also have the audacity. You know what I'm saying?
There's that too.
Like, bro,
Tiki
like
Barber
you
is
aren't
all
you.
audacity.
You know what I'm saying?
He's first team all audacity, bro.
That's the first ingredient on the breakdown of Tiki Barber is audacity. You know what I'm saying?
Second ingredient is eyebrows.
90%,
sure.
90% audacity. You know what I'm saying? Crazy.
2 cups audacity, 1.5 cups eyebrows.
And a sprinkle of bald ass head in that motherfucker.
And we got a full cup of Tiki for you. You know what I'm saying? A full serving of Tiki. Crazy.
I mean, he's also a dude who, I mean, he was kind of like a pioneer for the importance of authenticity versus access, where, you know, he got a TV career and his planned TV career was going on TV, talking shit on his former teammates. And Eli Manning and the rest of the Giants came out and said, we don't fuck with that dude. He doesn't know any stories about us. No one fucks with Tiki Barber. You know, I mean, where's he at now? He's doing local TV weather channel shit or something. I don't know. Like, just
Not
you
to
know,
shit on meteorologists.
not to, I mean, I love a meteorologist,
Oh, but I love a good meteorologist.
but he thought he was going to be Michael Strahan. You know
Yeah,
what I
that's
mean?
not his
He's
goal.
the
That
they
wasn't
don't
his
love
goal.
you like that of the
You gotta Paul
of the
Pierce now.
Giants. All right. Let's see. What do y'all want to talk about? Do you want to talk about Skip Bayless tweeting all in my ass, but with a comma in there? Do you want to talk about Aaron Rodgers talking about running for vice president?
All in my ass. Come on. That's really on brand. We need
So Skip Bayless tweeted all in, comma, my ass, as in like your motto of all in is not accurate. But there was it spawned a series of great memes about how much work the comma was doing in that tweet. Because really what he just tweeted was all in my ass.
Skip, motherfucker, Skip.
How did he not see that? Even though he's 1 trillion years old. I mean, like, come on, bro. You know what I'm saying? You had to have seen that coming. It is Twitter. You know what I mean? It is
Dude
made
said-
for moments like this.
Dude said he's never once checked his mentions. I was like, this is a man who knows how to use Twitter, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
All my respect.
Yeah.
I don't know if I believe Skip on that. I believe Colin when he says he doesn't. I don't know if I believe Skip. Here's my thing. If you're going to do that tweet, you've got to provide reinforcements to the comma. You have to put all in quotes, you know, like all in, comma, my ass.
Yeah,
like you
yeah,
can't
yeah,
just
yeah.
leave the comma out there to do all the work by itself. Commas are not armed to
That
handle
comment
that
was
much.
hanging on like for dear life. Nigga, like,
My first thought was
In a
that
hurricane,
Spider-Man
like-
1 meme where he's like holding with the train. And he's like as hard as he can possibly hold on to stop the train coming on. You know?
I saw that one. I
Oh,
saw the one that with the like 1,000-pound chain with the paperclip in between two links. it was a lot, bro.
sheesh,
It was a lot for
sheesh,
sure.
sheesh. I believe he
Uh,
hasn't looked at him, though. I think the way he's existed, you can't have your mental health would be in shambles if you have existed the way you are. I mean, yeah. it might
Yes,
be, but
I think that's exactly what I'm saying.
I don't. I feel like you being in this. I think you'd be, strapped up in a, like in a padded room. You know what I'm saying, based on how he's moved. So
That man has a 99.999% fuck you response rate. Like, why would you
Yeah.
ever check those? There is not going to be any positive reinforcement of anything he says in his mentions. Why would he ever do that to himself?
And the way people are designed is if like you can get 100 things that are positive and you see one and it's like fuck that dude. If
the
the
way your
fucking
brain
if it's
works.
if yes the way if it is reversed, you feel me? Like I can't imagine that world, bro. I think it's almost impossible for him to be able to check. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like as a human, it'd just be too difficult.
You know who's got the same thing, but I know he said in interviews he does see his mentions is Joe Buck. My friend Ryan and I used to, when Twitter like first came out and Joe Buck was on there, just kind of being a regular dude, it was our halftime ritual, but before Red Zone, all this other shit, he would go on Twitter and search @Buck and then just read the top 20 things. It was always at least 15 fuck @Buck. Like it was just like, it was like the foulest shit, bro. Yeah, it's crazy, but that's what we've decided should be our information disseminating mechanism in our society.
Crazy.
Is
And it's been
that
very effective.
yeah. I guess speaking of people getting their information off Twitter, y'all saw Aaron Rodgers apparently considering a vice presidential ticket team up with RFK Jr.
That's that. I mean, that's a match made in Looney Tunes heaven. But
Yeah, I don't know. God bless. Best of luck, America.
that's like the
Right.
dumbest. That's like the dumbest shit that also makes the most complete sense at the same time. Like those guys
It's
are
the
perfect for
dumbest
each other.
credible scenario
Yeah.
existing today. Yes, that's a great.
Yes, those two are perfect for each other and terrible for everyone else. Like,
Yeah. All right. not to steal someone else's topic entirely, but I'm Italian, so I feel like I get to co-opt this. Trill, Tyler I Am tweeted, "Are y'all aware of the full name of the man who founded the Gucci fashion house? His full name is Guccio Gucci."
Jeez, what a fucking name.
I love that actually, man.
Look at this man.
That's a Gucci if I've ever
Gucci.
seen one. You know what I'm saying?
That's hard.
Gucci indeed, bro.
We Italians got some shit right. This was pre-Mussolini, so we got some shit wrong too. You know what I mean? But
designers be having some hard ass name like Yves Saint Laurent. Oh my god,
That's
Wayne.
crazy.
What?
Crazy.
What a fucking name.
Wait, that's the person's actual name.
Yes, actual name.
I wonder, like, what the like. Okay, I imagine how many people have named the brand after their actual name, and like, I mean, like, the name is going to make it whether it's pops or not just designs, right? So I wonder, like, what's the percentage of that? Like, is it more the name has to be fire than the actual designs?
I
You
know
what
Ralph
mean? 'Cause
Lauren
it's-
switched shit up.
YSL is crazy, bro.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like,
I know Ralph Lauren switched it up. I know Lauren
Tommy
is his last-
Hilfiger, that's
Tommy
not, is that
Hilfiger
his real name?
his real name, yeah.
Is that okay, damn. Nautica is not, that's obviously like, that's not
that's
anybody's
Timmy
name. yeah.
Nautica.
Jimmy Nautica.
It's not a Steven Nautica running around here.
It does feel like this is clothing specific a little bit, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like, if I'm put something, like, the name can't be weak. Like, I'm not wearing John Nichols wear. You know what I'm saying?
I
Like,
would never
I'm
name
not either.
Like John and I both sell.
It's
Like John and I
smart, you know
sell
what I
clothes.
mean?
Like we would not. I would never sell the Gardabasio line of something. It is not a name for that. It's too long. It's not cool. You know what I mean? Similarly, you would never.
That'd
sell,
be
like,
a good restaurant, though. That'd be a great restaurant.
Maybe,
I
but,
would.
like,
I would
you're-
eat at Gardabasio's.
yes, absolutely.
I would. Oh
You
God.
don't want to
That
name your.
name-
You don't want to name
That-
your business.
no, that
something
name
people
is so
can't
fucking
pronounce,
Italian.
though. You know what I mean?
No.
No,
And
it-
for an
Gardabasio's,
Italian
bro.
restaurant, I want to have. You have to tell me what the name. Maggiano's is not enough. You know what I'm saying?
We need like 3-4 more syllables, dog.
I need some consonants that are silent in that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I need some silent consonants, bro. Gardabasio is a perfect restaurant name for an Italian restaurant for sure.
Hell yeah.
You know who's got, of all the Italians I know, the person who's probably got the best last name for a restaurant is my friend Abby Mastromonico.
Master Monaco.
I drop a lot of money
Is
at
that
Master
Italian?
Monaco's,
Is that
bro.
That
Yeah.
sounds like an
That sounds-
expensive vacation
sounds
island, bro.
and it sounds like if it's a restaurant, I'm gonna leave with a $500 bill.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right,
like
for sure.
You feel me? Like it sounds like the chef's approach they're really good at the taste is good, but I feel like it would affect my brain in a way like there's some science behind the food that makes me feel a particular way. You know what I'm saying? Like, gee, it seemed like it'd be next level type shit.
All right, this ties in a little bit
Hold up,
with
Ralph Lauren's real name is Ralph Lifshitz. He made the right decision.
Oh, for sure, bro.
Lifshitz.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
this
Yeah.
guy's like,
Ain't no way
is
in
that
hell.
like a Jon Stewart thing? That was like he was gonna like the anti-Semitism would have got you could name it Ralph Lipschitz. Yeah. So
I don't know if it's
proactively-
anti-Semitism too. I just don't think that's a name you'd want. You know, it's not because it's that's not a name I'd want.
It's sort of hand in hand, though.
It's
you
like
know what
John
I mean?
Nichols.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. I obviously, people would be. There's people that are
Yeah.
anti-Semites that would believe that. I wouldn't look at it that way. You know what I'm saying?
What's Jon Stewart's real last name? It's Jewish as fuck. Hold on. Jon Stewart. I remember being like, oh, I understand why he.
Leibowitz. I feel like Leibowitz
John
is an
Leibowitz.
entertainment name. You could-
yeah,
you
for
could strike
sure.
go out and
That's the
entertain
name
with
of a
that.
Aren't there
specific.
popular Leibowitz
when
that
we
are,
were all
like,
growing up,
in
when he was
entertainment?
coming up, that's a name of a very specific type of comedian, though. You know what I mean? That's like a very specific Jewish New York comedian, and that was like not obviously the lane he was in. So like, John Leibowitz could not host the the number one news comedy show in America at the time that he took the Daily Show over. I feel like.
That makes sense.
So I get it. All right, this ties in with the done with the '90s thing we were just talking about. But are y'all aware of the generation war over Prime versus Gatorade? Have we discussed this on the pod?
Prime. I don't even know what the fuck Prime is. That's how out the loop I am. What's that, like a energy, a sports drink?
Yes, it is the
Prime?
drink that all kid athletes love, and it is like kind of running Gatorade out of the spot right now. They just
Really?
announced that Prime is the new official sports drink of the Lakers, and my son and all of his friends are so invested in Prime as being better than Gatorade that he like fist pumped and celebrated around the house that the Lakers are now with Prime instead of Gatorade. Yeah, I thought I'd bring that up. I think that's very interesting. Gatorade was one of those things. It was like really became popular when we were kids because of Michael Jordan in large part. And then it's just kind of been, I know Body Armor's come along, Powerade, but Gatorade was always like Coca-Cola
like
or Nike.
All
it was
sport,
the
all
one.
that tried, you know what I'm saying? But like, yeah, Gatorade was the one that made it through all the bullshit. You know
But
what I mean?
Prime is just like, these kids are fucking obsessed with it, bro. It's crazy. It's so sweet. I cannot even drink this shit. And I
That's
say
what I
that
don't think
as
it'll
someone with a
last.
big
That's
streak.
what I don't think it'll last. If it's too sweet, because that's what happened with All Sport. I think All Sport had a moment. It had a little fizz in it. You know what I'm
Prime
saying?
is
But,
bigger
like,
than
this-
All Sport ever got, though. Like All Sport wasn't taking the Dodgers off of Gatorade. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But
So I don't
yeah,
know.
I just feel like the sweetness might get it. You know what I mean?
Have you had
I
it?
don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. I've never had Prime.
It's-
I've seen Prime.
Yeah.
I've never had it. If I know it's over for Gatorade if they enter college football. If college football, if they take on, like, if we seeing kids on the sideline drinking Prime in college football, where
Yeah.
Gatorade was created, SEC
Right.
football, people drinking Prime, it might be, hey,
Prime is like there are kids who will put that, like there are Gatorade bottles out there. I can tell you this for a fact. There are Gatorades out there, Gatorade bottles on sidelines with Prime inside of them.
wow.
Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. That's why
Can I-
it's interesting
can I
they
make
went and
a
got the
mean joke?
Lakers to me. What's
Can
that?
I make a mean joke?
Yeah.
Of course.
Mike, it's shocking to me that you, a parent of a Japanese child, are letting your son drink this drink that Tyler and John may not be aware of this. It was founded by Logan Paul, who infamously went into a Japanese forest and did some dark stuff in there. So
Wait,
I don't know,
Prime was
Mike.
founded
This
by
is
Logan Paul?
interesting parenting going on at the Gardabasio household.
Wow.
Prime was founded by Logan Paul?
Let me
Indeed.
tell you this. As a parent, the number one thing you got to know as a parent, and this is coming for John in the next couple of years, you got to know which battles to fight. I'm not. There are battles that I will
The sports
fight with
drink
my.
battle's not
There are
up there.
battles I'll fight with my son. But here's what Prime did was they went.
He
and
about to start
got-
calling you Steve again. If you go anti-Prime, he gonna be on your ass. You know what I mean?
There
You
was
ain't
a
even dad no
commercial
more.
that aired during a football game that was like at different athletes chanting, "We got Prime." And like, if you pulled a bottle of Prime out of your bag when you're coaching basketball or baseball, the entire group of kids would start doing the chant, like immediately. Do you know what I mean? Like they're like fucking
Jeez.
obsessed with it. It's more expensive than Gatorade too, which I don't appreciate, but it feels very also like Mountain Dew Code Red to me because it's just like they just gave him like the flavors extreme names. So Vincent really likes Meta Moon is his favorite.
Meta
Meta
Moon?
Moon?
I didn't even know
Oh
that.
God,
hilarious.
that's so fucking Jesus.
Yeah. So
I
prepare
can't
yourselves.
believe Logan Paul, but he is so fucking rich. This idiot has found a way to become so fucking rich.
Which ones? Okay, are they both dickheads or is one?
I
of
mean,
them
they're
just a
both
dickhead?
dickheads, but one's
Logan
boxes.
Paul is a
and-
hell of a fucking businessman, though, bro.
Yeah,
Which-
yeah. I mean, but it's always, bro. If we keeping it a bean, so is his brother, Jake, bro. Like Jake has found a way to enter boxing and become a big draw. He is fighting fucking Mike Tyson. There is no way, dude. We can't. Shakur can't even fight fucking Tank or Devin Haney. You know what I'm saying? And he's one of the best boxers in the world. Was top 3 on the pound for pound list at one point. You know what I mean? And this nigga Jake Paul is fighting Mike Tyson for probably more money than Shakur has ever made in his entire fucking career. That is business. And I think with boxing, business is just as important as being good, and his business side is fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You feel
I mean, the way to go in boxing is to be the villain. No one, once you get people invested in seeing you get knocked the fuck out, you are good money, bro. Like take fucking Mayweather for instance. We remember he tried to be a good guy with the whole pretty little boy era. You know what I'm saying? And he really took off when he became the money Mayweather.
Money
asshole,
Mayweather,
right?
bro.
Yeah.
And he was
When
he was more aggressive boxing wise when he was pretty boy. He
Mhm.
became more defensive and more strategic and I would say less of a fun for people that aren't to the masses. You know what I'm saying? As Money Mayweather, and he still made more money because he became a villain like Tyler spoke to.
Yeah, the money is in people wanting to see you get knocked out, not people wanting to see you knock people out.
There's a lot of money in
Right.
hate, and
There's
both
a lot of money in
brothers
hate,
have
brother.
found out a way to make money in it. You know what I'm saying?
Prime went from $300 million in sales in 2022 to $1.2 billion in sales last year.
Fucking sane.
All right. Here's a fun debate.
Insane.
King Favre tweeted this, and I'm curious for your guys' opinion. The question is this: do you think the world has more bad-smelling things or more good-smelling things? Like total thing, like average single thing in the world. Is it more likely to smell good or bad?
Yeah, I think things.
Go ahead.
I mean, I don't know about. Okay, so neutral smelling things like my hat smells like cotton. That they don't tip the scales anywhere.
Well, do you think your new hats smell good or bad?
I mean,
I think
it smells
would be
good because
personal opinion. I think
It's
the new
a
hat smells
pleasing
great.
smell. I don't know if it's good, but it's pleasing.
I don't think it objectively smells good. It smells good to me because I'm a hat guy and I love new hat smell. If I made my wife smell it, it doesn't mean shit to her. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there's that. But I mean, I think there's way less revolting smells than there are revolting smells. If we want to like frame it that way, by far.
I think this speaks to more your personality, how you see things, than actually the reality. I think it's like a glass half full type situation. I think there's way more things that smell good. I just think certain things don't smell good in certain situations. Like, I'm not going to put on a cologne that smells like steak. It would smell bad if it was cologne, but it smells delicious when it's fucking steak. What are you laughing at, Jackson? It's true. So I think
was
like
so funny. That was a really good point in the argument, and it was also
if I'd have hugged
hilarious.
you on Saturday and you smelled like grilled steak, I don't know.
Bro,
I might
you've
have
been
nuzzled
like-
your neck, dog.
right.
I can't even imagine what I would have done in that scenario.
But like I would not want, because I am sexually attracted to Radha, I wouldn't want her to smell like steak.
Yeah.
Maybe I would nuzzle your neck if you smelled like steak. You know what I mean? Because like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not horny when I.
Did
You know
you
what I'm saying?
rub
Like,
some filet on before you came up to
You know, it's
LA?
just a great point, John. And it made me think of Korean barbecue when you go and you're like, this place smells freaking amazing. And then you leave and all your clothes smell like that. And you're like, this is horrible.
Yeah.
fried chicken, or like, you know what I'm saying, different types of food in particular. Like, you know, like I know a lot of people who are from different cultures that cook in their garage because they don't want it to smell like their food when they go out into the world. But their food smells great to me. But also, like, you don't want it on your body because that. So this depends on where the smell is.
Answer the question.
In general, and I think in general, there's way more things that smell good. I like the smell of things more than I'm hardly ever revolted by smells.
Tyler, you
know
think
what I
more
mean?
things smell good?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you to learn that the results of this poll were 84.5% said more bad smelling things?
People
Wow.
hate life, bro, and I'm not surprised at all. Honestly, I think
It
there's
is
a lot of people that
fucking-
don't want to be that don't like that they out here right now. You feel what I'm saying?
It is spring. Like, bro, the earth smells incredible right now. And I say that as someone who allergies beat my ass every time this year. But I step outside in the spring, especially after like a spring rain. Oh my God.
You can't ignore the beauty of it.
Yeah.
And to feel like, dude, rain. Are people taking into consideration like rain smells great? You know what I'm saying? Like before it rains and after it rains. Like the
Yes.
smell of rain coming in is incredible. You know what I'm saying? The ocean smell when you're by the ocean, there is something peaceful about that. You
So,
know what I'm
okay,
saying?
so-
That literally brings you peace.
So
You know
that's
what I'm saying?
exactly
Like-
where I came from. Is most people obviously live in cities, and there are a lot of bad smelling things in cities. So I understand that, but most of the world is not cities. The majority of the world is the ocean, correct? The ocean smells great. Like, yes, if you pull a fish out of it and it's rotting, like, yeah, that doesn't smell good. But like, I mean, even if I go on a walk in my neighborhood, I smell plumerias. We have jacaranda trees in the spring that smell wonderful. Like, there's more plants than there are cars. You know what I mean? Like,
Also
that's
think
why
about
I
this.
was surprised at how overwhelmingly negative it was. But John, you're right. It's not about what people objectively think about the world. It's about people's opinion of life.
And if you pull a fish out the ocean and it smells fishy, which is not a good smell, the trillion ways you can cook it are going to smell fucking delicious. You know what I'm saying? Like, so like it shows up like a fish just doesn't. That's not the only smell. It shows up in multiple different ways, and it's going to smell great. Like I don't know. That's how I think of it. So like you said, I think it's like we both said it. I think it's about perception.
Yeah.
But I think majority of the world smells. I would flip that.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying? At least flip it.
Like
you know
when
what
we
I'm
go to
saying?
Mammoth, like, yes, like if there's a wildfire, the smoke smells bad. But literally a million things around us smell great. You know what
and
I
a
mean?
bonfire smells great.
Yeah. True.
You know what I'm
if-
saying? So
If you had a bad smell in your crib, you're gonna turn that motherfucker upside down until you find out what the fuck is that smell, right? Like that's
because
not
it's
the
so
norm.
abnormal. It's
Yeah.
so abnormal to have a bad smell. And you know what I'm saying? Like it's so
Yeah.
like I think the thing is like also it's so abnormal to notice. It's so jarring when you smell something bad because it's abnormal. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so like when you what the fuck is that? Like everybody is like, you know what I'm saying? Like what the fuck is that?
Things
Because
that
it's
smell
so
bad,
abnormal.
Yeah, things that smell bad. That's your body telling you that this is something dangerous or something to stay away from.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Something. Yeah.
For sure.
So.
All right. That's all the time we got. Before we get out of here, I want to
That
close.
was a great question. I'm glad you brought that. I love that question.
I thought we were going to argue. There's been so many topics where I bring it up because I'm like, oh, we'll get a good argument about this. And then the three of us always agree. Like we've literally disagreed about the two famous things that we've disagreed about that shall not be named in this present moment because Tyler has a heart out for his new job. But but I just think that's funny. I was like, oh, I'm against the 85% here. At least one of John and Tyler will be on that side. And all three of us are just like, no, obviously the world smells great. Like,
I mean, also we get paid to, make
Yeah.
money talking
Yeah,
shit with our
true.
friends.
yeah.
You know,
Actually,
we're
that-
very
and that's
lucky,
what
so our perception may be skewed.
That's what
Just
I
in
wanted
general.
to end on real quick. People always send us so many nice notes when they have that on their heart. And when I have it on my heart, I like to send it back. So thank you to all the listeners. Here's what I did with some of my Jenkins and Jonez money today. And I'm not saying this to brag about myself or whatever, but because I think it's helpful for people to understand if you're helping people out in your community, how far a little bit of money goes. But I spent a couple hours this week at my kids' elementary school book fair. I do this every year. The fellas know it's something I've been able to do since we've all been podcasting in the current manner that we're podcasting.
Is that cowherd money?
I go and I just tell the teachers, if you have anyone in your class who their parents didn't give them any money or they don't have anything on their e-wallet or whatever, send them over to me and I'll make sure they get a book. I had a couple years in my childhood where I was a kid that was like, just browsing, thanks, taking them on the chest. And it's crazy, bro. You buy a kid a $13 Spider-Man book. It's crazy how it changes their outlook on a day with $13. So there's all kinds of big, horrible things in the world. There's nothing any of us can do anything about. But if you go small enough, you could find something you could do with the little bit of extra money you have, even if it's not much extra money, that'll change someone's day. They have a better day instead of a bad day. Maybe that changes their week. Maybe that changes a month. Maybe that changes your year. You just don't know. But thank you to everyone who listens to Jenkins and Jonez for giving us the opportunity to do fun shit like that. And yeah, that's my message of encouragement to the people before you leave the church.
Hell of a message. Hell of a message. Amen.
Yeah,
Amen.
right there.
Everybody
For sure.
saying amen.
All right.
for
Thanks,
sure.
y'all. We'll be back, like I said, ASAP with that Love is Blind reunion recap. We'll see y'all then. Bye.
Bye.